All right, so power up the machine, pull the emergency stop out. Takes a few seconds for the software to load. It's requesting you to press reset and then machine start. So we press reset, machine start. Hydraulics are running. You can see here, you need to swing the head through 90 degrees. So we can switch our head swing slow to head swing fast. And we'll just swing the head one way and then swing back the other way through 90 degrees. And now we're at our main operating screen. As you can see, all of our controls are around the outside of the screen. We got our vices along the bottom, our head swing. For the fast and slow, anytime the box is green, it's in fast. Anytime it's in black, it's in slow. Anytime that any of the boxes are illuminated green, it means that those specific functions are activated. So if we click coolant on, we got coolant that's green, so the coolant's running. We click it off, and it goes black again. Across the top, we got our semi-auto mode, our cycle start, cycle pause, and our blade start. So to start off, we're going to use our angle go-to function. This function allows us to set the head to whatever predetermined angle we're looking for. So just an example, we can put in 45 degrees, and right now we're left. We can either select right or left, and then we hit cycle start, and the saw will start moving. It gives you your angle display here. As you can see, the screen will automatically disappear once the head reaches the described angle. So now to proceed to a cut, you'd need to position your material in the vices to the desired location. Then we need to close the vices. We're able to start, if the vices aren't closed, we're able to start the blade, but the cut cycle will not start. So we need to use the enable button. It's a two-hand control for the vise. So we use enable, left vise closed. As you can see, it's activated. Now we go right hand vise closed if necessary. If you're just doing a trim cut, only one vise would need to be activated. Now we press enable blade start. The blade starts, and then we just hit cycle start, and the cut begins. So as you can see, manual cut, manual mode, one cut mode. We've got our feed rate display up here. We use our feed rate knob to adjust our feed rate. Our feed force knob here, dependent on what kind of material we're cutting, will depend on where we have our feed force set at. So once the head continues through, we got our blade speed here. We can increase or decrease our numbers. We can also touch the box and enter in a predetermined blade speed. So once the head finishes the cut, the blade stops, we hit head retract, and the head goes back, and we're able to open the vise. The two-hand controls for the vices are only used for closing the vices. So now we can set up for a semi-auto job. So to get into semi-automatic, we need everything to be in a cut-ready condition. So we'll position our material. We go left vise closed, right vise closed. Now we pick auto mode. So we can go across here and determine which shape we want to cut first. So we're going to do opposing 45s to start. This is showing that our in feed is coming from the right hand side, so our material's fed in. So this is going to be the first cut that's completed, followed by the second cut. So right now we're going to switch this to 60, switch this one to 60, press enter. We do have a cut counter here for pieces cut. That'll keep track during auto mode, or semi-auto mode, sorry. It'll keep track of how many pieces are cut. If we do wish to clear that out, we can press the clear cut counter, and it'll start over again. So right now we can go cycle start and then blade start. And it shows that our semi-automatic job's in progress. Our angle 1 is going to be 60 degrees right. Angle 2 is going to be 60 degrees left. And again, on this screen, we're able to adjust our blade speed and we're able to adjust our feed rate accordingly. We have our feed rate displayed here. Just going to use the fast approach. The head's going to retract and it will automatically go to angle 2 now, which is 60 degrees left. Once the second angle is achieved, message comes up here, reposition the material, then restart the cycle. The vise is open a small amount. You're able to reposition the cut to the desired length. And we just need to close the vise, and cycle start again, and we'll start the cut. So cycle start. At any time during the process, if the blade's not running, the screen's going to pop up, start the blade for cut. So we just need to go use the enable button and blade start. So on the side here, we've got our guide arm up and down. This has got a hydraulic controlled guide arm. We're able to move the guide arm up and down using these buttons. Typically, we want to position our guide arm down as close to the material as possible, within a couple inches of the top of the material. Just be aware that specifically on this machine with angle cuts, our guide arm will go lower when we're cutting an angle when the head is swung over than it will at 90 degrees. So just verify that the guide arm will clear the material before you start the cut. So we're going to go back into manual mode. This machine also has a work lamp on it, standard work lamp. We also have a laser. Shut the work lamp off. The laser will show the cut line for the material. You can just line up, if you have the material marked, you can line it up with the laser, clamp your vices, and cut that way. Chip conveyor, we've got, this machine has a hydraulic driven chip conveyor. We press and hold. We can go either way with the chip conveyor. What that does is there's a single paddle underneath that pulls the chips out from the base. Would recommend that you do this on a somewhat regular basis. Now on this specific machine, there is no timer on it, so you just have to press and hold the button. So the head retract in advance. We bring our head forward. If we ever need to bring it forward, we can, to set up for a different type of cut, we can use the fast approach to position our head. We also have the head retract is a single touch button, and the head will go back to its rear limit. Coolant over here, we have two different selections. We can select flood coolant, so coolant is on. That's manual. Shut that off. If we turn coolant auto on, then the coolant will function during the time that the blade motor is running. At any time during machine operation, if there's an emergency or anything, just hit the emergency stop button and everything will power down. This is our blade change mode switch. When we switch to blade change mode and turn it on, shows our safety guard open. What it does is it bypasses our safety guard, so we're able to open the doors to have access to the blade, but no other function on the saw will work. This is our blade tension switch that we use during blade change mode. We have run, which is positive. We have hold and negative. We're able to detension the blade by switching the switch to negative. That's going to allow us to change our blade. We put it back on. We're able to tension it up, stick it and hold so we can position our blade. And then once we have our blade positioned correctly, we're able to switch the switch back to the run position. So this saw is equipped with variable vise pressure. Currently, we're set at the full amount, just shy of 900 PSI. But if you're cutting thin wall material or anything you're worried about with distortion, we're able to drop our vice pressure down accordingly to accept lighter wall material. All right, so this is our main disconnect switch for the saw. Power comes in from your wall source into here. We're able to shut the power off.